All right, let's begin. Kadācit kālindī-tat a-vipina-san gītaka-ravo mudābhīrinārī vadana kamala swāda madhupaha ramāshammu brahma marpati ganeshārchit pado Jagannath Swami Nayan Pathagami Bhavatu Me Jagannath Swami Nayan Pathagami Bhavatu Me Bhuje Savye Venum Shirashi Shikipicham Katitate Dukulam Netrante Sahachara Kataksham Vidadate Sada Srimad Vṛndāvana Pastimes Parichayo Jagannath Swami Nayan Pathagami Bhavatu Me Mahambodhe Stire Kanakaruchire Nila Shikhare Vasan Prasadanta Sahaja Balabhadrena Balina Subhadra Madhyastha Sakala Suraseva Vasarado Jagannath Swami Nayan Pathagami Bhavatu Me Kripa Paravara Sajala Jaladarshenu Ramavani Rama Spurada Amala Pankeruhamukha Surendrairaradhya Shruti Ganashikha Gita Charito Jagannath Swami Nayan Pathagami Bhavatu Me Ratharudo Gachan Patimilita Bhudeva Patalai Sute Padurbhavam Pratipadam Upakarna Sadaya Daya Sindhur Bandhu Sakala Jagatam Sindhu Sutaya Jagannath Swami Nayan Pathagami Bhavatu Me Parabrahma Pīdā Kuvalayadalotpullanayano Nivasi Niladrau Nihita Charano Nanta Shirashi Rasanando Radha Sarasavapura Alingana Sukho Jagannath Swami Nayan Pathagami Bhavatu Me Navaiyache Rajam Nachakanakamānikya Vibhavam Nayache Ham Ramyam Sakala Janakamyam Varavadhum Sada Kale Kale Pramathapatina Gita Charito Jagannath Swami Nayan Pathagami Bhavatu Me Haratvam Sansaram Trutataram Asaram Surapate Haratvam Papanam Vitatim Aparam Yadavapate Aho Dine Nathe Nihita Charano Nishchitam Midam Jagannath Swami Nayan Pathagami Bhavatu Me. Last time we meditated upon the meanings of Jagannathashtkam and I told you the meaning till the 6th stanza. I will tell the meaning of the 7th and the 8th stanza, but let us just first revise one more time. So this meditation on Jagannath Ji starts with Vrindavan, and he says, Adi Shankaracharya mentions that I meditate on that Jagannath who is sitting on the banks of Yamuna, who who is holding the flute. He's wearing a yellow garment and peacock feathers, and he's playing the flute. And while he's playing the flute, he's attracting the minds of all the gopis, and the gopis have surrounded him. And then he becomes the bumblebee who is tasting the nectar from these lotus-like faces of the gopis. And this Krishna, who is sitting in Vrindavan, he's being worshipped by all the devatas, including Brahma, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Indra, etc. May that Jagannath be the object of my vision. He is the same person who is in Vrindavan. Now he is residing in this mountainous area called Nilachal, which is brilliantly golden. And in that Nilachal hill, this Nilachal is surrounded by a great ocean. And on this Nilachal hill, he lives in a beautiful palace. And this Jagannath resides here along with his brother Balabhadra and his sister Subhadra. May that Jagannath Swami become the object of my vision, who bestows the opportunity of devotional service to his devotees. This Jagannath Swami, his complexion is like the rain-laden clouds, meaning like how the clouds give rains. Similarly, he showers. He showers his mercy upon us, his love upon us. This Jagannath Swami is like the ocean of mercy. So anybody who sees him, first of all, he's drowned in the ocean of mercy. And not only that, if your head is, you're in the ocean already, ocean of mercy, and now you're showing your head, he will not leave you. He will shower upon you his mercy. So a person who's looking at Jagannath Swami, he is drenched in the showers coming out from his beautiful complexion. And not only that, that person is drowned in the showers of mercy, in the ocean of mercy. This Jagannath Swami, who is a storehouse of Saraswati, of bliss, and Saraswati and Lakshmi Ji is always with him. This Jagannath Swami, whose face is blossoming like a lotus, and all the demigods, all the devatas, and all the sages are worshipping him, and all the Upanishads are singing his glories. May this Jagannath Swami become the object of my vision. So the one who is sitting in the palace, he decides every year to come and sit in the car and go around the city because he wants to give darshan to everybody. If somebody has missed seeing him, he makes that effort. He comes out because he's ocean of mercy. He comes out and he sits in the Rath Yatra car. And then he's surrounded by people and all these brahmanas who are singing and doing sankirtan, and Jagannath Ji enjoys it so much. He just stands there and becomes favorably disposed towards everyone. He is the ocean of mercy, and he is a true friend of all the world. May that Jagannath Swami, along with his brother and sister and his consort Lakshmi, this Lakshmi Ji who is born from the ocean of nectar, be the object of my vision. And then he says, Vayyache rajyam nachakanak-manikya vibhavam nayache ramyam sakala janakamyam varavadhum sada kale kale pramatpatina gītaka-ravo Jagannath Swami Nayana Pathagami Bhavatu Me. He says, I am not asking for any kingdoms. I am not asking for any gold. I am not asking for rubies or any sort of wealth. I do not care for a beautiful wife which may be desired by many. I do not care for all these riches. So what do you care for? What do you want? He says, Oh, I simply pray that this Jagannath Swami, whom Lord Shiva is also singing his glories. Aho, he says, Aho dine nathe sada kale kale pramatpatina gita charito. That Pramatpati means Lord Shiva. That Lord Shiva, who is also singing the glories of the Jagannath Swami day in and day in and day night, he says, I just want to see that Jagannath Swami. I seek nothing. So when you see this prayer, he starts with Vrindavan, he starts with Gopi, then he starts with all the devotees, then he mentions all the devatas, and then at one point he says, Rasanando, just before this sloka comes, 7th sloka, before that he ended saying, Rasanando Radha Sarasa Vapur Alingansiko, that Jagannath who is embraced by Radharani. So along with that, we remember Radharani. And now in the next sloka, he says that Jagannath whose glories are being sung by Lord Shiva. So in this entire prayer, we have remembered all the gopis, the devatas, Radharani. Now he says, same Lord Shiva, who is always singing his glories. May that Jagannath Swami become the object of my vision. And then he goes on saying, Haratvam samsaram trutataram asaram surapate Haratvam papanam vitatim aparam yadavapate. He says, O Lord, you are the one who can remove this covering of material existence where I am stuck. So please remove this. You are born in the dynasty of Yadu. You are Yadav Pate. You are the Lord of the Yadus. Please destroy this vast, shoreless ocean of sins that we continue doing while we are in this material creation. O Lord Jagannath, please bestow your lotus feet, for we are fallen. We have no other refuge. We are under your shelter. So may this Lord Jagannath be always the object of my vision. So in this shloka, in this one very prayer, we remembered everybody. And now we are saying, we come down and we have no other refuge. We have no other shelter. We just want to be at your lotus feet. Please always bestow your mercy upon us and remove this illusion of this worldly existence. So with that, we ended the meanings of all the 8 shlokas of Jagannathashtkam. Now let us get into the Rath Yatra festival with Mahaprabhu. Remember where we left? We are on Madhya-lila, chapter 14, performance of Vṛndāvana Pastimes. So Jagannath Ji is sitting in this Rath Yatra and he comes out under the pretext of, I want to go out, but he's actually wanting to go to Vrindavan. And that Vrindavan is that place where he will go is Gundicha. And that entire pathway in those times had greenery, gardens, but nowadays it is not the same. Nowadays there are a lot of shops and everything. There are streets, concrete. But in those times when Mahaprabhu was there, it was like a village probably, ocean on one side, temple on one side, and then the gardens and, on the pathway. And then he goes there and sits. And then there is the festival called where Lakshi Ji is coming back, Hera Panchmi. So Lakshi Ji comes along with with her servants, and she's very angry on Krishna. Not Krishna. For us it is Krishna, but for her it is Jagannath. She's like, why does he leave here and come and meet all these cowherd girls? What does he find here that he cannot find in the palaces of which I'm giving it to him? With that anger she comes. So when this festival was being done, Mahaprabhu and Sarup Damodar, they were given a seat by the king and they were sitting and they're watching the festival. And at that time, Mahaprabhu starts talking to Sarup and says, Sarup, why does she get angry? She loves him so much, right, Lakshmi? Why does she get angry? Can you tell me? So this was their way of conversation, and then they start discussing a lot of things in there. So Sarup said, yeah, it is the nature of a woman to get upset when she sees her husband going to some other woman. So these are two rasas in which, Swakiya ras and Parakiya ras. Swakiya means a husband-wife relation. Parakiya means you are looking at somebody else other than the marriage. So that is Parakiya ras. So the Sarup Damodar said, there is no fault in Krishna's pastimes. But it is the nature of Lakshmi Ji. Mahaprabhu said, why? Why is she getting so angry when Krishna is perfect? He says, so they started discussing. So while Sarup Damodar and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were discussing, the procession of the goddess of fortune came by. She was riding upon a golden palkin, carried by 4 men and bedecked with a variety of jewels. So she comes like a queen. She's the queen of Vaikuntha. The palkin was surrounded by people carrying the umbrellas, chamara, whisk and flags, and it was preceded by musicians and dancing girls. The maid servants were carrying pitchers, chamar, whisk, boxes for betel nuts, and there were hundreds of maid servants, all attractively dressed and wearing valuable necklaces. In the angry mood, this Lakshmi Ji, goddess of fortune, arrived at the main gate of the temple, accompanied by many members of her family. So all her servants have come, and all of them exhibited uncommon opulence. So Lakshmi Ji's servants have to look opulent. When the procession arrived, the maid servants of the goddess of fortune began to arrest all the servants of Lord Jagannath. So they act even today, Hera Panchmi. So this Lakshmi's troop is there, and they'll take all these people they'll start arresting. The maid servants bound the servants of Jagannath, handcuffed them, and made them fall down at the lotus feet of the goddess of fortune. And indeed, they were arrested, just like thieves who have all their riches taken away. When all the servants of Jagannath fell down at the lotus feet of goddess of fortune, they almost fell unconscious. They were chastised and made butt of jokes and loose language. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates saw such impudence exhibited by all these maid servants of Lakshmi, they covered their faces with hands and began to smile. So they are sitting in the audience. And here Lakshmi's servants have come, all the maid servants, and they're pulling all these Jagannath servants and putting them on the ground and beating them up and giving them all verbal abuses in their local language. And they started fighting with each other. So Sarup Damodar is watching, and Sarup Damodar said, Damodar kahe aiche manera prakara trijagate kaha nahi dekhi suniyar. He said, Mahaprabhu, are you seeing? Look at this man. Man means anger or pride, egoistic pride. He says, look at Lakshmiji's egoistic pride. And not only Lakshmiji's egoistic pride, look at her maid servant's ego. How are they pulling Jagannathji's servants like this and putting them and making them unconscious and making them fall at the feet of Lakshmiji? Sarup says, this is one of the type of man, egoistic pride. And at least I have never heard of this or seen it. And look at this. He says, Manini nirutsahe chade vibhushana bhumi vasena khelekhe malina vandana. He said, when a woman is neglected and disappointed, out of egoistic pride, she gives up her ornaments. So there's different ways women react when their ego is hurt. So here, the ego is hurt. One way is, my husband left me and has gone to some other lady. What am I supposed to do? Remove all the bangles, remove all the decorations. My husband doesn't like me like some other woman. So one way is that. So Sarup says, I have heard about that women crying, feeling very neglected and disappointed. And then women have their own egoistic pride, but in that pride, they give up their ornaments, and then they go and become morose and sit down in one corner. And then they're so upset. Sometimes they're lost in their thoughts. They're marking the ground with their nails. They're not able to talk to anybody because their pride is hurt so deeply. That how come my husband go to somebody else? Their pride is hurt so deeply. But look at the pride here. Lakshmi Ji is like, what? Beat him. Beat all the servants of Jagannath. How dare he? That is Lakshmi Ji's pride. So he says, I have heard this same pride in Satyabhama. But Lakshmi Ji is because Lakshmi Ji has become Satyabhama in Dwarka-lila. So he says, I have heard this kind of pride only in Satyabhama. Krishna's proudest king was Satyabhama, and I have also heard it in the Gopis of Vrindavan, who are the reservoirs of all transcendental mellows. He says, I have heard this pride in the Gopis also. Sometimes Gopis would beat up Krishna. Sometimes Gopis will not even allow him to come near Radharani. What? Don't come. You're not required here. Go. So he says, I have seen that pride either in the Gopis or in Lakshmi Ji. Now I'm seeing in Lakshmi Ji's servants and Gopis are Radharani's servants. They are not moros. But here in the case of Lakshmi Ji, oh my God, I am seeing a different kind of pride. She is manifesting her own opulence and even goes with her soldiers to attack her husband. What kind of pride is this? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started laughing. He said, please, please go on. It is nice, whatever you were saying. Prabhu kahe vrajer manera prakara swarupa kahe gopi mana nadi satadhar. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, you mentioned the gopis. I understand this is Satyabhama and Lakshmi's pride, but gopis? What kind of pride do they display? Can you please talk more about that? So Swarup said, Mahaprabhu, the pride of gopis is like a river flowing with hundreds of tributaries. Naikera swabhava prema vritte bahu bheda sei bhede nana prakara manera upabheda. He says, the Naika means the main heroine. So in Vrindavan, the main heroine is Radharani. And the gopis are also, because they are in her troop, so they are also having that same pride as Radharani. So the characteristics and modes of love are different in different women. Their jealous and if they are jealous, their jealous anger will take different forms. It is not possible to give the statement about the different type of jealous that is manifested in the gopis. But a few principles may serve as an indication. Mani kahe dhira, kehate adhira, eti na bhede kahe keha haya dhira dhira. He says, this jealousy or this jealous anger is expressed in three ways in women. Some become sober, some become restless, and some women will have both restlessness and soberness. So dhira, adhira, and dhira dhira. A sober heroine, she knows, okay, my husband had been to some other lady. But she will not externally display it. She's called Dhira Naika. So Dhira Naika, Adhira Naika, Dhira Naika. Naika means heroine and Dhira means sober. So when the sober heroine sees her hero is approaching from a distance, she immediately stands up to receive him. When he comes near, she'll offer him the place to sit. The sober heroine will conceal all her anger within her heart, and externally, she'll speak very sweet words. When her lover embraces her, she will accept the embrace. The sober heroine is a simple lady. In her behavior, she keeps all her jealous anger within her heart, but with mild words and smiles, her actions will show that she is rejecting the advances of her lover. So she is angry, but she does not want to show it outwardly. So all the anger is concealed in the heart. Now the hero comes and embraces. She'll get embraced. But within her mind, she's knowing he has cheated. But she's not expressing it. So it will be shown in her actions, in her eyes, in her face. The hero will know that there is something unnatural, not like every time. But she's not expressing it. The restless heroine, however, the one who is Adhir, she Adhira Nishthura Vakye Kareya Bhatsana. She is ruthless. The one, Adhira, the second type of heroine. She's restless. She's ruthless. When the lover comes to her anger will be in her eyes, in her mouth, her words. She'll chastise him left, right, and center. Sometimes she'll pull his ears, and sometimes she'll bind him with a flower garland. Whatever she gets in her hand, she'll bind him. So this is what happens, in Vrindavan. And then there are heroines in Vrindavan, all these gopis. They are a mix of sobriety and restlessness. So they are sober and they are restless. So they are dhira dhir. What do? Dhira dhir, they will not be angry and talking ruthlessly. They will take their class. They will take the lover's class in a very royal way. Like it will be like an epic roast session. She will joke around. And in an inner joke, that jokes will be full of taunt and sarcasm. And the hero will be so confused whether she is angry or whether she is just having fun. So this is the third type of heroine. So one is crying, one is give back, one is, come on, today is a barbecue session. I'll barbecue and I'll chew you now, wait. I'll chew part by part of yours. So this is the dhira dhir. So when she's talking, her talking will be full of jokes with equivocal words. She sometimes praises her lover, sometimes blasphemes him, and sometimes remains indifferent. Heroines are also many different types. What are the heroines? Mugdha, Madhya, Pragalbdha, Tina Naikar Bheta. He says heroines are of three types. One, Mugdha, who is in awe of her lover, captivated fully. Whatever my lover does, I just love him. I cannot be without him. It's okay if he's going to some other lady. At least he thinks of me, comes to me. These are Mugdha, captivated. Then there are intermediate, in between. And then they are the impudent. So the captivated heroine does not know very much about the cunning intricacies of a jealous anger. She'll not be very cunning. She does not know how to even react sometimes. The captivated heroine, she simply will cover her face and she will go on crying. And when she hears a sweet word from her lover, that's it. Everything is gone. It happens. Many girls, when they fall in love. The guy does sweet talk. And the guy may be cheating here and there. But if the guy just comes back again and talks nicely to her, you are my life, you are my soul. Oh, that girl was talking to me like this. That's why I was talking to her. No, don't worry. That's it. The girl is like, oh my. This is called Mugdha Naika. Captivated. The guy did so many things, but you're like, okay, it's okay, you love me, I know, love you. This is Mugdha. And the next two type of heroines, the intermediate and impudent heroine. They can be classified as sober, restless, and both sober and restless. All their characteristics can be further divided into three divisions. Keha Prakhara. Some of them heroines are very talkative. Keha Mridu. Some of them are very gentle. Keha Hayasama. Some of them are equipoised. Each heroine, according to her own characteristics, increases the love of Sri Krishna. So all these gopis are different. So some of them are very crying, Krishna loves only that person, does not even look at me. Some of them will be in between, chastising him, taking his class, roasting him. Some of them are like, and Krishna does what not. He comes and he just says, I'm sorry, and that's it. So some of them are like that. Some of them are like, they know their nature. But Krishna, every gopi he sees, he is enjoying every bhav of every gopi. He likes the one who is simple. He likes the one who is impudent. He likes the one who is in between. He plays around with all the women. Because he wants to be. He's rasik shekhar. Rasik shekhar means the crown of rasikas. He's Rasanandi. Rasanandi Radha. We just read, right? Rasanandi Radha Alingan Sukho. So he's Rasanandi. He enjoys rasa. So all these gopis are expansion of Radharani. And he enjoys all sorts of moods with all the different gopis. Prakharya Mardava Samya Swabhava Nirdosha Sei Swabhava Krishna Karaya Santosha. Although some of the gopis are very talkative, some are mild, and some equipoised, all of them are transcendental and faultless. Why? Because the gopis know that Krishna is getting happy. Krishna is pleased. So they are pleasing him with their unique characteristics. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is listening this from Sarup Damodar and he's very, very happy hearing this description. And he again and again requested, Sarup, please, Bale, 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 Bar, kaha Damodara, Damodar, keep on. It's so nice how you describe. Damodara kahe Krishna, rasika shekhara. Damodar says Krishna is rasik shekhar. He is the master of all transcendental mellows and taster of all transcendental mellows. Damodar kahe Krishna rasika shekhara rasa aswadaka rasmaya kalevara. Krishna, his body is composed of transcendental bliss. Premamaya Vapu Krishna Bhakta Premadhina. His body, his form is love. And he is Bhaktadhina. He is in the control of his devotees. Shuddha Preme Rasa Gune Gopike Preme Gopika Praveena. And gopis are also pure hearted. So he is very much bound by these gopis because the gopis give him pure love. And all these dealings are in transcendental mellows. गोपिकेर प्रेमे नाही रस भाष दोष अतैव कृष्णेर करे परम संतोष. There is no flaw or adulteration in the love of gopis. Therefore, they give the highest pleasure to Krishna. There is no adulteration in their love. वाम एक गोपी गण दक्षिण एक गण Nana bhave karaya Krishna rasa aswadana. So there is a Vam Gopi, Vama Gopi, and there is a Dakshina Gopi. Vama means the left-handed, the left wing. So the gopis can be divided into two wings. One is from the left wing and one is in the right wing. You know? So both wings induce Krishna to taste the transcendental mellows by various manifestations of ecstatic love. And of all the gopis, Gopi Gana Madhya Shrestha Radha Thakurani Nirmala Ujjvala Prasa Prema Ratna Khani. Of all these gopis, Radharani is the supreme. So gopis, two groups. One is the right wing, the other one is the left wing. The left wing gopis are little, their anger will show off. The right wing gopis are little calmer, sober. And Radharani is the head of all. Her love is the most beautiful, Nirmala. Nirmal means purified. Ujjvala, brilliant. Nectarian. She is the treasure house of this beautiful love. Radharani is grown up and her character is equipoised. She is always deeply absorbed in the ecstatic love and always feeling in the mood of a left wing gopi. So the mood is described by Rupa. All this thing is described by Rupa Goswami in his book called Ujjwal Nilmani. Okay. So left wing is described in this way: a gopi who is always eager to be jealously angered, who is very enthusiastic for that position, who immediately becomes angry when defeated, and who is never under the control of a hero, and who always opposes him is called Vama, or the left wing gopi. And the right wing gopi is called the Dakshina, a gopi who cannot tolerate womanly anger, who speaks suitable words of the hero, and who is satisfied by his sweet words is called Dakshina, or the right wing gopi. So Radharani is the left wing gopi. She is the supreme. The right wing gopis, they are sober. Radharani loves him dearly, but there cannot be anybody who can take Radharani's position. The right wing gopis are like, that's fine, whatever. As long as Krishna comes to me, I'm happy. Because Radharani is a left wing gopi, her womanly anger is always awakening. But Krishna derives transcendental pleasure, bliss from her activities. The progress of loving affairs between a young boy and a young girl is by nature crooked, like the movement of a snake. Because of this, two types of anger arises between a young boy and a girl: anger with a cause and anger without a cause. There will be no cause and you're angry. And anger with a cause. There's really cause. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is hearing all this talk and he's again going on. Kaha Prabhu, Bale Damodara. Please go on saying. And then Damodar continued. Adi-rudha Mahabhava Radhikara Prema Vishuddha Nirmala Yaiche Dashavam Vanahema. He says Srimati Radharani's love is highly advanced. All her dealings are completely pure and devoid of material tinge. Indeed, her dealings are 10 times purer than gold. She may get angry, but out of love. And Krishna knows the ecstasy of her love in anger. That anger is nothing. It's just love coming in a different form. That's all. And Krishna enjoys it. As sometimes what happens? She's the queen, right? And she's young. Remember, our Radha Krishna is always not more than 16-year-old. That's the maximum age. So 16-year-old girls, how they're drama queens. They have all these dramas. So sometimes she's walking with her friends and she goes in the groves of Vrindavan and she's walking nicely, playing with the lotuses or the deer. And Krishna, he just comes. Krishna is lampat. Lampat means he just wants to come and see her. Crazy after Radharani, like how young boys, at that age are. So Krishna comes in that kunja to see Radharani. When Radharani just on purpose, she'll behave like, why has this guy come here again? And she can't say guy. So she'll say, oh Sakhis, let's go from this place now. This place is infested by so many bumblebees. Let's go from here. Bumblebee means Krishna. Or sometimes she'll be say, oh Sakhi, let's go to the other grove. I heard that there's a big Krishna Mriga. Krishna Mriga means black complexion deer has come here, means indirectly Krishna. Let's go to the other place. Oh Sakhi, let's not go to Kalindi today. Kalindi means Yamuna, dark colored, just like Krishna. Let's go to some other place. So when Krishna comes, she'll outwardly display as if she does not want to see his face. He's so irritating, he's so annoying. Why does he keep following me everywhere? So that is her pride. But inwardly, she's always wanting, may he come. When she's going out, sometimes she'll say, oh Sakhi, can I just go to Kalindi? Let's go to Kalindi. Kalindi means Yamuna. So the Sakhis knows. Going to Kalindi means you want to see him. And when he comes, you'll say, oh no, this place, the Krishna Mirg is coming, let's run away. What is that behavior? And sometimes Krishna will come and talk to her and she'll behave like a queen. How dare you talk to me like this? Sometimes there are so many leelas described. There are Dan-lila, there's Man-lila, Dan-lila. Krishna comes with his friends. Give me tax. You cannot cross this border. And Radharani is like, what tax? Radharani said, what tax? Radharani is the Rani. You rather surrender at her feet if you want tax. So all the different leelas happen. So Radharani will show anger. But her anger is only full of love. So sometimes when he's come, she'll cover her face. So she doesn't want to see him. But that is all full of love. So here he says, so this love is described as different ornaments. All the expressions are described as different ornaments by Rupa Goswami in Ujjwal Nilmani. And what are those? He says, Ashta Satvika Harsha Adi Vyabhichari Yanra Sahaja Prema Vimshati Bhava Alankara. There are 32, the transcendental ornaments of Srimati Radharani's body include 8 sattvic or transcendental systems, the 33 Vyabhichari bhavs, beginning with harsha or jubilation and natural love, and the 20 bhavas are ecstatic emotional ornaments. So like when Krishna is coming, so this he classified everything. Rupa Goswami's literature, like he will classify love also into 8 forms and then expression of love into 33 forms. Now listen, what are the expression of love? We all have been through this. First is Nirveda. Krishna has come. Be indifferent. Inside you are liking it, but your face will be indifferent. Who cares? He's talking to other girls. Who cares? So first bhav is indifferent. Second is moroseness. He comes. You are acting indifferent. He's talking to other girl. And now you are sad. Moroseness. Meekness. Sometimes being meek. Sometimes glani. Glani means a feeling of in a fault that one is in a faulty position. Sometimes, he expresses love and then she does not express her love, and then he goes. Then you start telling, oh, because of my mistake, maybe he left me. That is glani. Shrama, sometimes fatigue. Mother, sometimes madness. All these are expressions of love. Madness. Sometimes pride. I'm not giving example. It will take a long time, but understand. Pride. Sometimes doubt. Sometimes apasmara, forgetfulness. Sometimes avega, intense emotions. Sometimes trasa, shock. Vyadhi, disease. Moha, bewilderment. Mriti, death. Alasya, laziness. Jadya, invalidity. Vrida, shame. I said. Avahita, concealment. Smriti, remembrance. Vitarka, argument. Chinta, contemplation. Mati, attention. Dhriti, forbearance. Harsha, jubilation. Autsukya, eagerness. Augra, violence. Amarsha, anger. Asuya, jealousy. Chapalya, impudence. Nidra, sleep. Supti, deep sleep. Prabodha, awakening. All these are different expressions of love. And then he went on saying, some of the symptoms are Kilakinchata, Kuttamita, he has named them all. And then when Srimati Radha and his body manifests the ornaments of many ecstatic symptoms, the ocean of Krishna's happiness immediately displays transcendental waves. Now here a different ecstasy, different description. Now here a description of the different ecstasies, beginning with Kilakinchita, Kuttamita, etc. Kuttamita is pretense of anger. Kilakinchita is getting into a hysterical mood. So all this keeps coming here. He says, Mogdya is being innocence, asking a lover to tell what he's already known. So that is Mogdya. Then Mottayita. Mottayita means awakening very deep desires by remembrance of the words of the hero. So sometimes you are alone and you're thinking, and the deep desires awaken in you. So that is Mottayita. And so many different moods of Radharani has been described. When Shri Krishna sees Srimati Radharani and wants to touch her, he prohibits her from going to the spot where one can cross the river Yamuna. Approaching her, Krishna prohibits Srimati Radharani from picking flowers. He may also touch her in front of her friends. At such times, the ecstatic symptoms of Kilakinchita are awakened. First, there is jubilation, which are the root cause of these symptoms. There are 7 other transcendental ecstatic symptoms, and they combine on the platform of jubilation. Combination of this is called Mahabhava. The 7 bhava of Radharani would be Mahabhava or pride. Pride can be different ways. Like, out of all the gopis, he only loves me. This is pride. Ambition. Fear. I wish I do not lose him. I wish he does not forget me. Artificial crying. Sometimes crying. Krishna does not think about me. Anger. Envy and mild smiling. There are 8 symptoms of ecstatic love on the platform of transcendental jubilation. And when they are combined and tested by Krishna, the Lord's mind is completely satisfied. Indeed, they are combination of you take yogurt, mix some candy in it, put some ghee in it, put some honey, put some black pepper, camphor, cardamom, and then when you eat this yogurt, you will get different taste, and that yogurt tastes very good. He says, Radharani's expressions, sometimes all these expressions would come together. Geet Govind, if you get time, do listen. It's all on the YouTube. Geet Govind, all the different moods are so beautifully expressed in all the different songs. So Radharani is in love with Krishna. She goes to see him and then she becomes Brahmit. Brahmit means she gets confused. She thinks Krishna is already with the other gopis and she gets angry and she goes. But in her anger also she's crying for Krishna. And in that anger becomes so vibhu. Vibhu means spread. And that moroseness also becomes vibhu at the same time. At the same time, love also becomes vibhu. Vibhu means spread all across. And different feelings. Like she starts seeing the darkness and she thinks the darkness is Krishna and she tries to hold Krishna in darkness. And when the Sakhi is saying, please, Krishna is there, she does not realize. Madness. Fainting. Not able to get up. All these different limit, like love's highest point. In Radharani, so many things come out simultaneously. We are just discussing like a text, but to feel it is different. So here, when he's giving an example, he's trying to give an example, like when you take yogurt and mix all these different things and you taste, you will get all these different tastes. Similarly, Radharani's love is like that, so many different bhavas, and Krishna is enjoying every bhava of Radharani. Geet Govind, amazing. He does that. So Lord Krishna is thousand upon thousand of more times more satisfied when he sees Srimati Radharani's face lit up with this combination of ecstatic love. Then he is in direct union with her. If Radharani is angry and she is going and crying for him, and then he goes and looks at Radharani, he loses control. Krishna does not know how to react. Who can teach you love other than a woman? Only a woman can. Woman is love form. Even though we say Krishna, but how will Krishna enjoy love if Radharani is not there? How can a man enjoy love if the woman is not there? Women is filled with vatsalya. Women is filled with everything. So Radharani is the whole form of love. Krishna is the form of bliss. He is enjoying that bliss because Radharani is giving him the bliss. Radharani is the Ladini Shakti. So this is what he's explaining here in different quotations. All this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard, and he says, he quoted a shloka from there. He says, when may the sight of Srimati Radha and his kilakinchitta ecstasy, which is like a bouquet, bring a good fortune to all. When Sri Krishna blocked Radha on his way to the Dana Ghati, Adi-lila, there was laughter within her heart. Inside she is laughing. Her eyes grew bright and fresh tears started flowing from her eyes, reddening them. And due to her sweet relationship with Krishna, her eyes were enthusiastic. And when her crying subsided, she appeared more beautiful. Agitated by tears, Srimati Radha and his eyes were tinged with red, sometimes just like the eastern horizon at sunrise. Her lips began to move with jubilation and lusty desire. Her eyebrows curved, and her lotus-like face smiled mildly. Seeing Radha on his face exhibit such emotions, Lord Krishna felt 10 million times happier than when he embraced her. The expression made him mad. Embracing, you can't see her expression, you can only feel her. But that expression in her eyes, that smile on her face, and that anger and that crying on her face, Krishna teases her to the point that she'll cry. All this he's enjoying. Upon hearing this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so happy, and he's saying, when he said, Charu Damodar said, Krishna got so crazy that he embraced Radharani. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gets crazy here and he embraces Swarup Damodar. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then asked, please speak of more of these ecstatic ornaments decorating the body of Srimati Radharani, by which she enchants the mind of Sri Govinda. Radha vasiya cheki ve Vṛndāvana yaya, taya diya chambite, Krishna darshana paya. Mahaprabhu, Swarup Damodar said, sometimes when Radharani is sitting or when she's going to Vrindavan, she sees Krishna. The symptoms of various ecstasies become manifest in her. And all these ecstasies are shown in her face, in her eyes, in every part of the body. The way way she's moving, her walk changes when she sees Krishna. And stands or sits, and or when she meets her beloved. All this thing is called as vilasa, ras vilas. So when we are reading the Lila or Hit Chaturasi or Geet Govind, every action that they are doing is called as vilas. This is called rasa vilas. When we read that, there's an opening thing, Yadi, he says, Jadev Prabhu says, that if you are excited about hearing about Hari and his kathas, and then he mentions the word, if you are interested in hearing about the vilas, rasa vilas. So this is rasa vilas. Okay. So, and in that ras vilas, what happens? Timidity, jubilation, ambition, respect, fear, and the characteristics of left-wing gopis, all these ecstatic symptoms, they combine and they come into Radha Rani. When Srimati Radhani saw Lord Krishna, just before her, her progress stopped and she assumed an attitude of opposition. Although her face was slightly covered by a blue garment, her two starry eyes were agitated and being wide and curved. Thus she was decorated with ornaments of vilas. And her beauty increased to give pleasure to Sri Krishna. When Srimati Radhani stands before Krishna, she stands bent in three places: her neck, waist, and legs. Yeah, you want tax, huh? What tax you want? Lalite, talk to this boy. He comes in my area and asks me tax. Her eyebrows dance when she's talking. And when there is an awakening of various ecstatic features on Srimati Radhani's face, her eyes that are appropriate to her charming feminine attitude light up. And this is called the Lalit ornament. Lalit Alankara. When the bodily features are delicate and expertly curved, and then when the eyebrows are beautifully agitated, they get angry. The ornament of feminine charm called Lalit Ankara is manifest. When Lord Shri Krishna happens to Srimati Radharani decorated with this Lalit ornaments, they both eagerly want to meet each other. When Srimati Radharani was decorated with the ornament of Lalit Alankara, just to increase Sri Krishna's love, an attractive curve was manifested in her neck, knees and waist. And this was brought about by her timidity and apparent desire to avoid Krishna. So inside she's happy that he's doing all this drama, but outwardly she's behaving so that she's not caught up. She should not be caught red-handed with her feelings inside. So she's behaving like a different way. Oh, don't talk to me. Talk to the hand. This is her anger. Lalite, tell him. Talk to him. So everything is bent now. When Krishna comes forward and really snatches at the border of her sari, Srimati Radhan is actually very pleased, but tries to stop him. This ecstatic attitude of Srimati Radhan is called Kuttamita. And when this ecstatic ornament is manifested, Radhan is externally trying to avoid Krishna, but apparently she's angry, although she's very happy with him. When the border of her sari and clothes veiling her face are caught, she externally appears offended. But within her heart, she is happy. This is called as Kuttamita. Although Srimati Radhani was checking Krishna with her hand internally, she was thinking, let Krishna satisfy his desire. In that way, she was very pleased within. And although she externally displayed opposition and anger, Srimati Radharani externally displays a kind of dry crying, and she's offended. And then she mildly smiles and admonishes the Lord. Sometimes she'll, we do that. Why? Why are you disturbing me? Why are you troubling me so much? But this is like a baby, like a dry crying. That also makes him happy. She has no desire to stop Krishna from touching her. But When Krishna advances, she'll be like, away. How dare you enter my border? How dare you cross the limits? Be in your limits. So internally she's like, I want him to cross the limit and come to me. In this way, Srimati Radharani is ornamented and decorated with various ecstatic symptoms which attract the mind of Sri Krishna. It is not at all possible to describe so many things. But yeah, this is the relationship. Even Sheshanag, if he sits and tries to describe all the various dealings, it will be difficult for him, even with his thousand words. At this time, Sarup Thakur smiled. Srivas Thakur smiled at Sarup Damodar and just see, and then he told them, what are you guys talking? Look at Lakshmi Ji. Look at Lakshmi Ji. How opulent she is. And then Srivas Thakur took another role. He took Lakshmi Ji's side. Now these people are so involved in Gopi and Radha and his form. Srivas Thakur took another stand. He's like, look at Lakshmi Ji. Look, Vrindavan's opulences. What is there in Vrindavan? It just has some few hills, that Govardhan Hill, and some peacocks going here and there, and all flowers and twigs, and some minerals and some caves, and the plant called Gunja. When Jagannath Ji decided to see Vrindavan, he went there. And upon hearing this, the goddess of fortune experienced restlessness and jealousy. So she wondered, why did Lord Jagannath go to this place called Vrindavan? What is there? Does he want to see peacocks? Does he want to see mountains? He made a laughing stock of himself. And therefore Lakshmi Ji has come here. Now the maid servants of Lakshmi Ji has caught hold of Jagannath's servants. And then they say, your master is so expert at everything, but why does he not listen to Lakshmi Ji? Bring your master before Lakshmi Ji. All the sevaks are saying. In this way, the maid servants of the goddess of fortune arrested the servants of Jagannath and then and bound them around the waist and brought them before goddess of fortune. When all the maid servants brought Lord Jagannath's servants before Lakshmi Ji, Lord's servants were fined. And then they were forced to submit. They all all the maid servants of Lakshmi Ji began to beat the Rathakar with the sticks, because that Rathakara Krishna used to go to Vrindavan. So they started beating the Rathakar, and they treated the servants of Lord Jagannath like thieves. You were party to this, taking Krishna to Vrindavan. So you guys are going to get beating. So they all were getting beaten up. And then Lakshmi Ji was happy, pacified with her servants. And then Srivas Thakur says, my Lakshmi Ji's opulence, look at her pride. She is the real queen. And look at Jagannath Ji's servant. What maid servants of Lakshmi Ji just beat them up. Srivas Thakur continued to address Swarup Damodar. Your gopis are engaged in boiling milk and churning into yogurt. But my mistress, the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Ji, she sits on a throne made of jewels and gems. Srivas Thakur was enjoying the mood of Narad Muni and thus made jokes. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is listening both their conversation. At one time, Srivas Thakur talking about Lakshmi Ji, and here he's talking about Radha and Gopi. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. He's enjoying the opulence of Dwarka. He's enjoying the simplicity of and love of Vrindavan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then said, my dear Srivas, your nature is like Narad Muni. The Bhagwan has all opulences, and looks like Bhagwan is having a lot of influence on you. But Swarup Damodar is a pure devotee of Vrindavan. He does not know what opulence you're talking about. So he's simply absorbed in the mood of gopis. Swarup Damodar then said, my dear Sivasha, please listen with attention. You have forgotten the transcendental opulence of Vrindavan. The natural opulence of Vrindavan is like an ocean. Even Dwarka and Vaikuntha cannot compare with it. Shri Krishna's all opulence are exhibited only in Vrindavan. Vrindavan Dham is made of transcendental touchstone. Its entire surface is made up of valuable jewels, and the Chintamani stone, which is used to decorate the lotus feet of the maid servants of is used here is used to decorate the lotus feet of the maid servants of Vrindavan. Vrindavan is a natural forest full of kalpavriksha, which can fulfill all desires. But the inhabitants of Vrindavan, even though they are surrounded by these kalpavrikshas, they do not ask anything from these trees. That's how opulent Vrindavan is. Vrindavan is full of cows, and these cows can fulfill all desires. And they give unlimited supply of fulfilling all the desires. They graze from forest to forest. They deliver only milk. The people of Vrindavan only want this milk. Vrindavan, the natural speech of people is like music, and their dance is amazing. The water of Vrindavan is nectar, and the Brahmajyoti effulgence is directly perceived here in this form. The gopis, each and every gopi, you're talking of one Lakshmi. Each and every gopi of Vrindavan is a Lakshmi, and they surpass the opulence of your Lakshmi, who is in Vaikuntha. In Vrindavan, Lord Krishna is always sitting there. Kadācit kālindī-tat a-vipina-san gītaka-ravo. He's always sitting there and playing his transcendental flute, which is his dear companion. And in this way, he praised the opulence of Vrindavan. Srivas Thakur heard this, and then he started dancing in ecstatic love. He vibrated sounds by slapping his armpits, and they were all very happy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard all these discussions, and then he got absorbed in the transcendental ecstasy and started to dance. And then when he was dancing, Sarup Damodar was singing, and the song and dance went on. And then 4 Sankirtan parties were formed, and they danced and danced and danced till they became fatigued, and Mahaprabhu's love went on increasing. Seeing the ecstatic love of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityanand Prabhu was also watching him. When he's ecstatic, everybody keeps watching. So he was standing at one point and watching him. Sarup Damodar then informed the Lord that we should stop the dancing. Everybody's fatigued. And then Mahaprabhu came back to his external senses. And then they entered the flower garden. And then after that, they took their afternoon bath. And then they had prasadam. They again went to Lord Jagannath's temple. And then after their afternoon lunch, they had evening bath. 3 times they would take bath. Then they went again to Lord Jagannatha in the evening. And in front of Jagannath, they danced. And they went to Narendra Sarovar, played all those water sports there. And this way, Mahaprabhu continued his pastimes for 8 days. The next day, Lord Jagannath came out of the temple, riding on the car, and returned back to his Lakshmi Ji's place, because Lakshmi Ji had given the ultimatum. So Krishna came up, became Jagannath again, sat in the car, and the Ratha was taken inside the temple again. As previously, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his devotees danced with great pleasure. And during the Pandu Vijay, Lord Jagannath was carried, and while he was being carried, a bunch of silken ropes broke. He was that heavy. And when the ropes broke, the cotton pads were brought. The cotton pads also broke. And this way the cotton floated everywhere. Ramanand Vasu and Satyaraj Khan from Kulingram came there and paid their obeisances to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered them that take these ropes and make similar ropes and bring it from your villages from next year. So these 2 people, Ramanand Vasu and Satyaraj Khan, became the worshippers of these ropes, and every year they brought silken ropes from their village, seeing the samples. After receiving the orders from Lord for the rendering of service, the fortunate Satyaraj and Ramananda Vasu were highly pleased. Every year after year thereafter, when Gundicha temple was being cleaned, Satyaraj and Ramananda Vasu would come up with the other devotees and with great pleasure bring the silken ropes. Thus Lord Jagannath returned to his temple and sat on his throne, while Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned to his residence with his devotees. Thus, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed the Rath Yatra ceremony to his devotees and performed various Vṛndāvana pastimes with them. The pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are unlimited. Even the 1,000-hooded Anantanag cannot describe it. But here we come to the end of the chapter, praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunatha, always desiring their mercy. I, Krishnadas, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya-lila, 14th chapter, describing the performance of the Vṛndāvana Pastimes and Hera Panchmi Yatra. All right. So we have ended up. Let me just see your Jai Ma, Jai Gurudev, Amrita writes, Ma, not sure what it is. When you sing this, it feels like deep pain flowing in the body. This tune always goes in the mind throughout the day. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Amrita, you have no idea what he is. He induces the madness. I was like you. I didn't have any idea what this crying, what this madness, what this love. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has something, some magical wonder. You read Chaitanya Charitamrita and something starts happening. We do not realize when the heart has melted. Earlier, the heart was like a stone. Slowly, it starts melting. So it's not my tune. I never discovered this tune. When I used to read, it just comes. When I'm speaking, it just comes. I do not know. I do not practice. No tunes. It just comes. I'm not a... So yeah, it is all Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doing it. Okay. Dear Guru Ma, you have told us many times that the relation between Radha and Krishna is not physical like a boy or girl of this world, but this emotion and expression is the same like young lovers. In this world also, many times a lover does everything to please his partner. Is this the only point? Is this the only important point? The fact that Gopis are serving Krishna's senses, not their own. Yes. Atmindriya priti kare. When Tara bale naam, Krishnendriya priti kare, prem dhare naam. So in ordinary world, the lovers are doing these emotions to please each other. Okay. But in Krishna's world, we all love Krishna and Radha. Understand this. And how do we learn how to love Krishna? From Radharani. So tat sukh sukhi. We are not doing anything for our senses. It is for their senses. And the love goes to that point that, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains in Shekhar, Ashli Sheva Padaratam, whether you love me, whether you embrace me, whether you do not look at me, it doesn't really matter. All I know is you are my prananath. You are the master of my uh, heart. So what we experience in the external world, it is mixed with kamana. In an external world, a lover expresses love to each other, but there is a lust in there, and second, there is a desire, there is a kamana. They have to reciprocate, then they have to behave accordingly. If they don't behave accordingly, then that love goes in vain. But with Krishna and Radha, that love is so pure. It is always like that. Even in anger, they love each other. And that love is, there's no tinge of kamana basically. So Radharani, there's no physical thing there. Okay, it's deep. It's like in the heart, in the soul. It's a very different love. It has gone beyond Rajogun, Satogun, Tamogun. The anger is not anger. It is love. The jealousy is not jealousy. It is love. The crying is not crying. It is love. The vira is also love. The separation is also love. The meeting is also love. Purest form of sublime love is this love. But how do we understand the divine love? Only when we experience some love here in the world, then we can understand the purest love. That's why in this world we go through these feelings. We have our children, we have a husband, we experience in the world like this. But this love has to be purified and purified and purified and gone to the divine love. All right. So yeah. All right. So only loving Krishna's and doing everything for Krishna's senses. That is pure love. So we'll end it up here and then we'll meet tomorrow with another beautiful Leela of Mahaprabhu. Jai Shri Krishna. Radhe Radhe.